The role of non-Indigenous allies in Indigenous rights movements. Indigenous rights movements are an important part of the struggle for justice and equality in many countries, including the United States, Canada, and Australia. Indigenous people have long faced discrimination and marginalization. And in recent years, there has been a resurgence of Indigenous rights activism. As with any movement for social change, it is important to have allies from outside of the affected community to support the movement. Non-Indigenous allies have an important role to play in the fight for Indigenous rights. One of the most important roles non-Indigenous allies can play is to amplify the voices of Indigenous activists. By elevating the issues that Indigenous people are facing, non-Indigenous allies can draw more attention to the movement and help to create a space for Indigenous activists to be heard. Non-Indigenous allies can also provide resources, such as legal advice, financial support, and organizational skills, that can help to further the movement's goals. Non-Indigenous allies can also help to build bridges between Indigenous communities and the larger society. By engaging in conversations with non-Indigenous people about Indigenous issues, non-Indigenous allies can help to increase understanding and create a more welcoming and inclusive environment for Indigenous people in mainstream society. In addition, non-Indigenous allies can help to challenge oppressive systems and policies that have a disproportionate effect on Indigenous people. By speaking out against racism and other forms of discrimination, non-Indigenous allies can help to create a more equitable society for Indigenous people. Finally, non-Indigenous allies can help to ensure that Indigenous rights are respected and protected. By learning about the history and culture of Indigenous people, non-Indigenous allies can help to ensure that Indigenous rights are not violated or ignored by governments and other institutions. Non-Indigenous allies have an important role to play in the fight for Indigenous rights. By amplifying the voices of Indigenous activists, providing resources, building bridges, and challenging oppressive systems, non-Indigenous allies can help to create a more just and equitable society for Indigenous people.